When you stop texting your ex, it doesn't just create space. It triggers a psychological response the brain isn't very good at handling. After a breakup, most people respond the same way. They wait for the other side to respond. When they hear nothing, they reach out. They explain their side, apologize for things they didn't even do wrong. They try to stay friends in a hope that constant communication will keep the emotional bond alive. Silence feels uncomfortable, so they fill it with words. But more often than not, this has the opposite effect. The more you explain yourself, the more distant your ex becomes. The more available you stay, the less urgency there is to value your presence. Instead of pulling them closer, constant contact slowly pushes them away. Your presence holds nothing of value in their life, and after trying every trick, this is where ignoring your ex begins to work. Not because it creates tension, not because it provokes a reaction, but because it changes how their brain processes the breakup. Scarcity. Your attention loses value when it's always available. Human beings are wired to value what feels limited. When something is easily accessible, the brain treats it as less important, less valued. This applies to objects, opportunities, and relationships. After a breakup, if you remain emotionally available, your ex continues to receive reassurance, familiarity, and comfort without any commitment or responsibility. They know they can reach you whenever they want. They are confident that if they text you, they will definitely get a reply. Your attention becomes predictable, and predictability lowers perceived value. When you stop responding, that predictability disappears. Your attention is no longer guaranteed. The emotional support they were used to suddenly vanishes. It gives the sign that they are losing their grip over you, the power they hold on your emotions. Suddenly, they can't feel it. The brain registers this absence not as peace, but as loss. At first, your silence may feel relieving to them, but over time, that relief turns to awareness, and awareness turns to missing the authority over you. All this happens not because you said something powerful, but because you stopped offering something they quietly depended on, something they had excess access to. Loss aversion. They don't miss you, they miss what they lost. Psychologically, the human brain reacts more intensely to loss than gaining something new feels good. They didn't miss you, they missed how you made them feel loved and valued. Your attention made them feel important, like they were placed on a pedestal. This is why people cling to past relationships even when those relationships were not healthy. For example, when you were always there, replying quickly, listening, reassuring, that emotional support became expected. It felt normal. But the moment it disappears, the absence feels louder than the presence ever did. After a breakup, your ex doesn't miss you immediately. They miss access. Access to your attention, your validation, and your emotional availability. When you disappear, the brain struggles to adapt to that sudden absence. They begin to feel a void within themselves, the same void you were feeling before. This is why silence is more effective than explanations. A message reassures them that you're still there, that they still have someone they can return to for emotional comfort. Silence, on the other hand, forces them to confront what is truly gone. Only then does the emotional shift occur, from indifference to discomfort, and from discomfort to missing. They may not miss the relationship itself, but they begin to miss the emotional benefits that no longer exist. Reactance. Silence triggers the need to regain control. When people feel that their freedom has been taken away, they instinctively want it back. This psychological reaction is automatic. During a breakup, even if your ex initiated it, they still want a sense of control over you. They often expect continued access. When you ignore them, that expectation is broken. Control is taken out of their hands. They can no longer turn to you when loneliness hits.
They can no longer decide when emotional closeness happens, and they no longer have the same hold over your emotions. For example, they may send a casual message expecting a reply, not because they want to reconnect or fix things, but because they want reassurance that you're still available, that they still matter to you, and that their presence still carries weight. When that reply doesn't come, uncertainty begins. This loss of control creates internal resistance. Questions start forming. Why aren't you responding? Have you moved on? Why do they suddenly feel uncertain? Why does your absence feel uncomfortable when they were the one who left? Ignoring your ex shifts the power dynamic, and psychologically, the desire to regain control can easily be misinterpreted as renewed attraction. Zygarnik effect. Silence creates unfinished emotional loops. When you explain everything after a breakup, you give your ex closure, and closure reduces curiosity. When you disappear, you leave emotional questions unanswered. Silence creates mental loops that replay again and again. What are you thinking? Have you moved on? Have you met someone new? Did they make the wrong decision? These unanswered questions keep them mentally engaged, forcing the mind to fill in the gaps on its own. For example, instead of remembering a final conversation, they keep replaying moments, checking your last message, your last seen status, or the last time you spoke, trying to understand what changed and what your silence now means. These unanswered questions keep you present in their thoughts, not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't say. The mind fills silence with imagination, and imagination often carries more emotional weight than reality. Ignoring your ex is not a way to control someone. It is not punishment, and it is not manipulation. It is space. Space that allows emotions to settle without constant interference. Space that stops you from giving endlessly while receiving nothing in return. Space that forces both people to sit with what they actually feel instead of reacting out of habit or fear. And space that brings clarity, the kind that is hard to find when emotions are still raw. If your ex never comes back, the silence still has value, because the same distance that can create missing can also create detachment, and detachment is often where healing truly begins. In most situations, one of three outcomes occurs. First, your ex may reach out, not always with the intention of fixing things, but to test whether emotional access still exists. They may send a casual message or check in, trying to see if you are still available to them in the same way you once were. Second, they may grow more curious. Even if they don't reach out, they begin to notice the shift. The shift feels unsettling. They start questioning what changed, whether you've moved on, and why the dynamic no longer feels under their control. Third, you may emotionally move on. Distance creates perspective. Without constant contact, your nervous system begins to calm, your attachment softens, and clarity replaces confusion. What once felt urgent slowly loses its grip. All three outcomes are healthier than chasing someone who has already chosen to leave. Sometimes, the most powerful message is silence. It doesn't beg for attention or force a reaction. It simply shows who notices your absence and who never truly did. If they care, they will feel the distance. And if they don't, the silence gives you the space to protect yourself and move forward.